should be given only 5 minutes. Already we started 5 minutes late. So now since it is being recorded, so if anybody is joining late, they can also see the record and its YouTube link. Everything is being prepared by your CR, first CR or second CR, so that those who are facing some connectivity problems are joining late because of remote places, they will also see that without any problem. I hope you are ensuring that, and that YouTube links and all you can also keep in your WhatsApp groups. Now continuing with our lecture number 9 today. Now welcome my beloved students of underground coal mining methods, MN 2102, and others they can unmute themselves so that I need not interfere in between. Our CR will take care of that if there is any disturbance in between. Now, let me know whether my screen is visible or not.
Let me know.
Now, is my screen visible? I am trying to just make it visible so that today, as I told you, I will be showing you some of the models of different mining methods. In our department itself, we have some models, and that I made a video of it as if I am explaining to you, since you are far off at present. So I want you to come back to our NIT Rourkela and to our mining department. And now let me know whether my screen is visible. Yes, no.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, welcome
Yes, sir.
my beloved students once again to this lecture number 9, and those who are unable to join in time, they will be seeing YouTube links and recorded versions, and if any doubts, of course, we will be interacting further. And today to start with, I wanted to show you some of our departments through video also, where mining methods related. I tried to demonstrate, explain, so that being at your place. Now, this is our ground control laboratory, of course, where I am in charge for that ground control instrumentation and blasting technology lab also. And this is our mining machinery lab, our material handling lab, where we have long wall models, where I will be showing you some video of that. Just a pic I am showing so that some of our good friends, they join. I can just give some feedback or background on this. These are the model of a long wall panel what we have, and that I will show you. And even we have that same in different models. In addition to this, we have different models of even shaft sinking or different open cast mine models and underground mine model with different type of methods. So many things are there available with us. Even layouts of underground transport system or winding system arrangements, and then board and pillar like this board and pillar. You can also see with me some of our assistant professors, our Sahendra, and then our technical assistants who are working with me in some of my projects as co-investigators, and also like they are working in my lab. You can see our Sahendra here, and then our Madan is a mechanical engineer, our deep learning panels. Now this video, before going further about the classification and choice of mining methods, I would like to show that this video. Now this is, let me also know whether you are able to hear the voice of this video or not, because there may be some settings and you need not worry. This is our ground control laboratory. Any of you have visited our labs? Yes, no.
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
No,
No,
sir.
okay, don't worry. This is our ground control lab. This is the first lab which comes when you enter into our mining department, just at the left side of it. So we in Indian system of transport, we follow left, right? And then they are our group who are working with me in some projects, and then is our assistant professor Sayandar, and then our lab assistant, Madan, mechanical engineer, and our Bhaskarji and somebody else is preparing some samples for some PhD scholars working under some other people. Now, here, just I'm taking you to the models instead of uh, uh, explaining the total lab. Now, this is our models, and yeah. So this is uh, the models what we have as far as our underground coal mining methods are concerned. And underground coal mining methods we can see through these models. They are board and pillar models and then long wall models we can see in this. अच्छा, ये क्लास में है, बाद में बात करेंगे, क्लास में ऑनलाइन क्लास, yeah. So here this is a depillaring panel, how it looks like. And of course, this we kept because of scarcity of the space. Otherwise, it is not something like a vertical or like that. Otherwise, this coal seam may be dipping at 1 in 10 or 5 degree, 2 degree, something like that, or sometimes horizontal. Right. So you imagine that way. And then now you can see this is a development when it is done, how it appears. Now you can see these are the pillars and these are the galleries. This gallery, these dimensions may be, it is a total panel when you see. This may have pillars like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pillars along dip direction if you consider this as a dip. And then the strike direction, if you consider this as a strike direction, then the pillars, and then when it is extracted in the depillering, how it looks like. But let me tell you about the development and how it was done. And here we can do development in so many ways, starting from simple manual mining. Manual mining where pick mining, ancient times we used to have even no explosive. Then with picks they used to break the rock, and then from pick mining to other blasting, and then with blasting then loading onto your baskets by manual loading, and later of course through some mechanized loading, that is a semi-mechanized mining methods where blasting is done, and that blasting again is again in so many ways. But nowadays we go with solid blasting. Otherwise people used to have, when there were no delay detonators or that type of technology, people used to have a cut made along the floor or the side or cross cut, whatever, to prepare a free phase in the panel or in the working phase. If this is a working phase like this, right, the 4 sides phase, so you need to have one this side, it is a working, it is a free phase, already it is there, you made the holes in the drilling to blast. Then another preface is required. So they used to prepare with a coal cutting machine, right? And not continuous miner like whatever we are using. It may be something like with a scroller, some type of a teeth, right? It will cut only 10 centimeter, 15 centimeter along the floor or the side, so that another free phase is created. So that is what is a conventional system people used to have. Otherwise, nowadays, since we can create through some wedge cut or through some type of pyramid cut, whatever the cuts, right, which you learn little bit in the drilling and other ways. We can also learn more and more in details when we go into the case studies also, where we are blasting with solid blasting, right, and then loading that by side discharge loaders or load all dumpers or scrapers, and then collecting that with gathering arm loaders. There are so many ways of do that, and then that is loaded onto either conveyors or onto the tubs, right? Tubs may be 1 ton capacity, 1.5 ton capacity. Nowadays you are going even a bigger size. Otherwise it was around 1.25 ton tubs into that, which goes on these haulers. This may be like a direct hauler, maybe from the surface or in between in the panel, we can have hauling machine here or hauler motor here, and then this can be a direct hauler, and then the tubs are supplied here and it will be loaded when you are blasting here. Suppose you just imagine no depillering, only development, right? There you must have blasted this place and then loaded that through SDL or through LSDs or through gathering arm loaders, through scrappers. Otherwise, through manual loading itself into baskets and then into the tubs, or otherwise it may be onto the conveyors or onto the AFC or phase conveyors. There are so many ways how we can transport. I have given a gist of it, right? Now, coming to this model, now by whatever means it is developed, this is a pillar and then the board or the development gallery. And then for ventilation purpose, of course, air should come, right? And intake air, and then it should have some no leakage should be there. So we will be having some ventilation stoppings here so that intake air will come like this, and then ventilating these places. You just imagine there is no depillering, only development going on. In that case, now you are developing somewhere here, right? Then from here, this ventilation will go from here like this, and then to another phase. And there may be 2-3 machines working, 2-3 drill machines. This is the way how it is development goes on. And then when it comes to the depillering, how it appears now you can see, right? It can be simple splitting and then slice. Now that is you are splitting the pillar, right, into 4 stooks, and later you will be even making this slice, that is a rib, leaving a small rib. RIB is written here, right? You are able to see this rib. Okay. Rib again is the GOF. Now your line of extraction is this. This is a line of extraction. So now for this purpose, now you may be blasting here. From here, you may be loading onto the tubs here, and then from that tubs, it will be pushed here, and then it is taken through the hauler, right, through the rope haulage onto the surface and to our different places through endless haulage. And this is the way how it is done, right? And then when it is a depillering, now splitting, and then there is a go-fed support here, and then there is additional support required up to around 2 pillars. This is to take care of the active stresses, because when you are blasting it, then area of GOF, this area is called the GOF, where coal is extracted. There may be some ribs left out in the GOF, right? Or this is supposed to be knocked down. This is the way how extraction goes on, right? And this you must have got some idea now, and just continue further. And there, in fact, I was trying to explain there which type of instruments are used and how to monitor and how to ensure the safety. That's what I was trying to explain on that day. And the same, I'm showing you to show these models, right? And there, while extraction of these pillars, and there will be change in the deformation, stress condition. You will be installing so many instruments there so that your person is supposed to be very safe under stable situation. That is the reason why we provide extra supports, additional supports. These are also called advanced supports. That here we have shown in terms of the props and chocks. This green color is a chocks with wooden, or it can be a steel prop, or steel chocks, or hydraulic props, or friction props. It can be pin props. It can be indicator props. There are so many names, right? But nowadays we are going with glue boards, cable boards, bolts of different materials, steel bolts, glass fiber sports bolts. All those things is not at the time when you see in these sort of things. That's what I was trying to explain about the method of extraction and using different types of instruments to know that how much is the deformation taking, whether it is safe limits. I can apply the person there, and this is a line of extraction, right? And these are the splitting, and these are the ribs after, that is after splitting this and leaving a rib against the go. This side also is, this is your line of extraction. And you may get a doubt why the line of extraction is diagonal like this, right? So here, of course, already you know little bit about this. Now here itself, let me ask you, because already you read in your introduction to mining something about board and pillar and other things. Why diagonal line of extraction is followed in board and pillar while depillering? Anybody? I want somebody to respond, or at least yes, no answer, so that I will be knowing that my voice is audible and my screen is visible to you.
For stability purpose.
Very good. So you want to say something about why diagonal line of extraction is followed instead of a straight. I could have extracted all these pillars at a time like this. pillar 1, 2, 3, 4. Why a diagonal line? One pillar here, one pillar here, one pillar here in this row. One pillar in this row, one pillar in this row, one pillar in this row, and one pillar in this row.
Sir, for better
For
stability,
for
if we
for
start in
strata
one
control.
Please
line,
tell your
sir.
name first and then tell, right?
Sir, my name is Ayush, Mayor, and if we start the in one line, that will be very much stability. So like one part of have support, but other part have nothing. So it will not distribute the force uniformly of overburden. That will fall easily. But if you do, if you did that diagonally, then the distribution of force is uniform. If still when we
Very
deploy
good.
that.
Very good point. Right. So here, just to demonstrate or illustrate further, as our friend said rightly, right? So suppose when you are extracting the straight line, because previously we used to follow that also. Even we were extracting with some advanced support, heavy supports in advanced galleries, and even straight line of extraction was also followed before, even a knife edge method, even the long wall method of extraction of pillars was also followed before, but we face a lot of problems. And what are that problems? As rightly said by our friend. Now, when you extract with one pillar here, one pillar here, one pillar here, in this way, what happens when you extract all this one row of pillars at a time from this point to this point, all along the line of extraction, your total this gallery and then all this will be the go, right? Now, compared to that situation, right? Even shifting your persons from this place to this place also will be so difficult. And when you are extracting in this way, if you are leaving some rib in between, all this will may get crushed, right? But here what will happen? When you are following a diagonal line of extraction, part of this load is evenly distributed. Some part on the stooks ahead of this, right? On this part, on this part, on this part, right? This is the way how we are distributing, not long along one gallery of the total span, you are not exposing it. So this is the way how it was made generally, right? And then now in this way, when you are extracting this, here also let me explain you uh, till I show this, where even you are using continuous miners now, and you are calling it as a fender method mining, where this need not be perpendicular, it may be even inclined for the maneuverability of the machine. Even when you are using a continuous miner, that videos and other things also I will show, where we were doing lot of investigation. So this is the latest technology in this board and pillar is with continuous miner. Otherwise, now I am taking you to other models. Of course, you are also seeing here the shaft sinking and then the shaft bottom, shaft top layout, layout of the transport systems, winding systems. All these models we are having. You can see these two drums and then shaft setting arrangements with bell plate here and then so many arrangements for the safety of all these windings. So many models are there. Some you can see, but I'm explaining only those models which are related to our mining methods. That golden pillar already we have seen. Otherwise, we have some other models in these showing different methods, open cast mining and even metal mining, coal mining related. Some models prepared by us, some models purchased from Nanda and some company. This is a long wall retreating model with caving, how it appears, this model. Now here you can see this is a long wall face and these are the shield supports. Now you can see here, this is the shearer, two drums, one drum here, another drum here. And this is, now this shearer is traveling on the armored flexible conveyor. This is what we call as a AFC, right? And then all these, we have removed these chalk shields just to show you this model. Now you can see after a few minutes, 5 minutes, we will take a break. Now, since we started a little late, now it is 10:30, right? We will break after 5 minutes. Our CR will remind, right? So this is a shearer. Of course, this is a company name is written Anderson Slide, and this is the time when we were using that long back. DRD is a double-ended ranging drum shearer. And in 1980s, we started using from AM50, AM500, all those things. Even in GDK 7 incline or in the Monody colliery and some other places, we were using it. And later, of course, so many Chinese sites, and nowadays, even with CSRO and other companies, we are doing a lot of experiments in Adriala and Janjra and so. So this is a main gate. Now you can see, and here you can see that in the main gate. Now we have the cable, your belt conveyor, and then there is a stage loader here, right? You must be seeing it. This belt is here, and then a stage loader, and this stage loader, where the transport of coal is after cutting, it is falling onto the AFC conveyor, and below this stable roof conditions with our chalk shield supports, where it is also having a shield, back shield, rear shield, where against the GOF, you are protected when our persons are walking in between these two in a four-legged chalk shield support. Otherwise, it can be two-legged supports also. There are so many types. We are using it. Now, so coal after falling on the AFC, after cutting through this shearer, and then it is going, and then through the stage loader, it is falling onto the stage loader. From the stage loader, it is falling onto this gate belt conveyor, which is there. It can be 2 kilometer, 3 kilometer. This is a total panel length. Otherwise, this is the face length. It may be 120 meter, 150 meter, 200 meter. Even nowadays, we are having 300 meter, 350 meter of that much of face length also. And now to something more about it, now we can see shield supports. And then this is a block long one. We are retreating from these sides. This is a go
Sir,
where few hydraulic chocks removed to show face machines here, right? Yes, now it is 10:33. After 2-3 minutes, we will break. Okay.
sir.
After this, explaining this, so that you need not show this again. Right. Now, continuing further on the field where were protected from entering inside the working place. Right. This is the long one repeating phase giving up. I've told you about this. Then this
Sir,
is a
your
go.
voice is breaking.
And then now you are is transport is main gate, and then this will be in general intake airway, and then we'll be using different type of instruments to know about the behavior, that is how much stress is coming, deformation, what is coming on the support. We'll be using uh, advanced support up to some length 30 meter ahead of this phase with crossbars and hydraulic supports, also of 40 to 50 ton capacity. And then on this total panel, now we are able to see here. Let me just show on the tailgate side, there is a conveyor. This is a for the material transport generally we use for transport. Uh, and it is a return area. That is air is coming to intake area and then going back after ventilating the total phase. It is going back to the, I mean, after ventilating this phase and then going back to the return airway. This is called a tailgate and also as a return airway. This is what is a model of having our assistant professor and our science mother working in projects. Right. So this is what just we wanted to show you, my beloved students. I tried to show different models and then all these things. Now let me go back. Now you can ask some doubts.
Sir, actually, your voice is too much breaking where you are playing the video with you say that you should not listen your voice, sir, at that time when you explain that thing. Actually, we are, sir, we are trying to
You
say
are
to you
also
what,
hearing the voice in that what is coming?
sir, it is clear now. But when you playing video with voice, that's your voice is not good. Sir. So we are trying to say your sir, we call that, but you not listen us.
Now what is your doubt? Let me take attendance once. Yes. Now let me know your doubt so that we will explain further. Let me just downloading the attendance once. Okay, attendance is downloaded. Okay, my beloved students of underground coal mining methods, Mn2102. Now let me have your doubt. It is downloading, right?
So
Yes.
this is Aryaman.
Aryaman, right? Yes,
Yes,
Arya.
sir. In the depillaring model of board and pillar mining, while you were explaining about mine ventilation, so I had a
Right.
question that in the there would be different panels, right, sir? So
Right.
why would air pass to the last panel?
Right.
Wouldn't it just return it from the first panel by passing through the first panel?
There are so many ways of ventilation, and I hope you are also studying or you will study otherwise. There is a mine ventilation separate course. Okay, Arya. Mine
Yes, sir.
ventilation, there is a separate course,
Yes, sir.
and you will be learning more in that also. But since you asked the question, I worked as a ventilation officer for more than 1 year in a largest mine in southern India. That is 21 incline, which is a mechanized mine in 1980s when I was a assistant manager and in charge of machine mining districts and also ventilation officer, statutory ventilation officer, right? I will explain you everything. Okay. And here, when you see any mine, total mine layout, right? Now I am going back to this. Here also, if you see a ventilation at this place, in general, this is a part of the mine. It is not the total mine. Okay. And for this district, there should be a separate ventilation connection. There should be separate intake and separate return. That much is very clear, Arya. For
Yes,
each
sir.
panel, there should be a separate intake and then return. That should be very clear to everybody. Okay. And then from the mine, this mine may be 2-3 kilometers and this panel may be somewhere in the last part or in between, whatever it is, right? And there may be some main inclines on this side, and from one part of that main incline some roadway that is serving as an intake airway and it is connected here, right? Like that, that intake airway connected to so many other panels, so many other districts. You got it, right? And then each panel, especially when it is a longwall panel or a depillaring panel or a development panel or any place where the persons are moving, persons are working, there is a ventilation standard. You please note down. In of course, in 1957, that was standard of ventilation is 130 regulation number. Coal mines regulation 130, I think, is a standard of ventilation where the temperature should not be more than 33 degree or dry bulb temperature, wet bulb temperature should not be more than these. And then air quantity should not be less than 2.5 meter cube per minute per ton of coal produced or per person 6 meter cube per person employed. All these are standards are there. Okay, Arya, is it clear? Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you'll be knowing so many things in that. When in this, just since talk about ventilation, because you are also supposed to know about ventilation, transport system, machinery, way of working, the persons, how many people are working, everything you should know. Here also, that's why I wanted to tell you. Here, since you said about this, let me keep off here. Yes. Now there should not be any change in the sounds and other things. So in the similar way, in Longwall, it is very clear that that ventilation is very clear here. Here, this is a main intake coming to this panel, and then after there is no other way to go. Either it should go into the gove or it should ventilate the face, and then it should go back through the return airway. Right? Why it is going back? It is connected to the return airways in the total system of ventilation or ventilation plan. All those things are there in that way. Okay, that much is okay now, or shall I say something more? Right.
Yes.
So
Yes.
this is about the ventilation, where it is a deep layering, or these are for that matter in all the panels, right? Or in the total mine ventilation, you will be learning about all this ventilation in a separate course itself. You will be learning about that. But if you have any doubts, definitely I will be very happy to clear with my little experience of 35 years and performing so many ventilation courses and training so many ventilation officers. Okay, it's all right. Now continuing further, if you have any doubts, other
Yes, sir.
doubts?
Sir, I
Yeah,
am Ayush. I have doubts, sir.
yes, Ayush. Right.
Without any pillars and without any support, how long will it happen to 30, like 230 to 300 meters strike length? How it will go and what will support system of long walls actually?
Long wall panel, right? So shall I show only that it is better? Now this is a long wall, okay? Let me explain here itself instead of going to video again. So your question is, once again you just ask, because the
Sir,
others, they can explain. They know the answer. You ask the question.
sir, what will be the support system of long wall without bore and pillars? How it will support the roof actually?
Very good. All right. Who can respond to this? Ayush question?
Sir, I am
I know
Surya.
everybody knows the answer
Yes,
of
I
this.
can.
Sir,
Please,
Surya.
you tell your name and answer. This is also part of quiz and everything. Right.
Sir, I'm Suryakant. Sir,
Sharon, Surya,
the support
continue.
system is actually in the long gun machine only. The hydraulic
Right.
chocks and the shield support that will
Very good.
protect the roof to falls down. And after
Right.
advancing in the seam direction, the gulf will be created in the back side.
Right. Very good. To
Sir,
supplement that, yes,
so then
Ayush. Here,
Gope will fall there na. So I know that hydraulic system, but after go, what will be about Gope, sir? Actually,
that golf will fall. It will settle. That is a
sir,
caving method. It
that
is
will
caving method.
problem.
Very simple.
That will be problem in surface, sir. That
Yes, there will be subsidence on the surface. Right?
sir, mechanics
There will
support
be
I know, but
subsidence on the surface.
I think
If
about the
you
Gope,
don't
sir.
want, right.
Sir,
If you don't want any subsidence, then you should
yes, sir.
go for backfilling methods. Very simple.
Yes, sir.
Right. All those
But
things.
immediately,
More.
but
Right.
immediately that Gope will fall or what?
Yes, this has to fall, but that will not fall immediately. There you will be learning so many of strata control, so many designing the panel, why the panel size should be that much. So that should lead to the fall, major local fall and major fall. You note down, everybody, right? This is a very good question, right? So when you are extracting this, because part of it you know already, that's why I asked you to respond, where you learned in the introduction to mining itself, where when you are excavating in the caving system of mining, that immediate roof will fall, and immediate roof should fall. If it is not falling, you should break. That is what induced blasting is supposed to be done. And then that should be stress relieved. And after some time, there will be some span which is exposed in the groove. And suppose this panel has extended up to 60 meters, 70 meters. Here itself you note down. In general, local fault takes place when sufficient span of 10, 20 meter is created in the groove, right? Then that much span is sufficient to call a local fault. Immediate roof, which may be 1 meter shale or 0.5 meter sandstone, and overlying by another 1-2 meters fine grained sandstone, medium grained sandstone, clay, carbonaceous shale, whatever layers, that layer will fall. Why? Because this is a caving method where you are not providing any backfilling. And in the caving method, we follow caving method only in those places where that should cave on its own. If it is not caving by local fall, you should create blasting and you should cave it. That is called induced blasting. Everybody should note down this, right? And next time you should be in a position to explain if somebody gets a doubt. So it should cave. It is not caving means you should induce blasting to cave, and that local fall will fill part of the goof. And if it is not filling, then again you should even blast from the surface also. We have done in so many mines. You please note down somewhere, right? Rajendra mine, where caving was not taking place. Rajendra southeastern coalfield, where we used Chinese system of longwall in 1990s when I was a scientist in Ministry Mines. That we were doing a lot of investigations where it was not caving because of, again you note down there, because of SIL, SILL, which is a major drawback in a longwall mining system. Why it is not highly successful in southeastern coalfield is because of the sill, which is hindering the caving process, right? Sill is an intrusion, right? And we have somewhere dikes also intrusion, that is different. But sill, it is igneous intrusion that will not allow the roof to cave, and that main fall was not happening. Local fall was happening, and main fall means all that gulf should settle. That should get filled. To fill that gulf of 3 meter height, now there may be 30, 40, 50 meters to get disturbed in the roof. Then that is what is called a caveability of the roof. That is what is called even the bulking factor of the roof to be studied to design the caving even system of mining also. Is it clear now, Ayush and others? Right?
Yes, sir.
Shall we go further? Right.
Yes, sir. I am clear.
Okay. Now the same thing, just I tried to show it. Now we are also supposed to know about the classification and the choice of these mining methods. And I am not going into that primitive system of even how to enter the mine, open mine. Little bit we discussed, revived or reviewed what little bit you learned before also. Now for us, there are so many different type of classifications. And in general, what we have seen in the introduction part or the module 1, that part is a simple way. Just we say it is a board and pillar and then long wall, something like that. Other can be a simple classification, either a caving methods of mining or stowing methods of mining. Very simple, right? Or if it is a development process, you will be developing in the seam development where development is in the seam. Otherwise, if it is highly inclined, then horizon type of development. And later methods will be different. There are so many ways how they are classified. But I tried and we have worked out on this long back, 20, 30 years back, 30 years back. When I was scientist in mining methods department in Central Mining Research Station, along with Dr. T.N. Singh, in which in this book also we included the same thing like that. Here I am showing from that. You can also see in that book also, and some more thing I try to add it with a little bit of my 35 years experience here in designing methods and classification of methods, right? So in general, you can say board and pillar, right? In that, now you can do it in a single pass. What is the meaning of that? That means whenever you are extracting, right? Again, it can come into the thick seam mining, thin seam mining, medium, whatever it is. But when you are extracting in a single pass means when you enter into a seam, right, and develop from that entry only, right? So this I can do it up to about total thickness of 4.8 meter. That's what I told you, thickness range also. So one way is single pass mining. Otherwise undermining, that means from the floor. Now along the floor I can develop, and we have some thick seam. Then top coat, I can get it by blasting and then collect in different ways. There are so many means, even some part of just like a metal mining breast stoping approaches like that also we can do. Of course, we are doing in fact chamber mining, and so many methods are there where we are using in northeastern coalfields, NECL, right? Where it is something like a chamber mining also they call it as, otherwise descending shield mining also it is called, right? Where inclination is more, and then that coal from the roof and that is with a shield, now you are going down like that, and then underwinning, right? That means if it is a thick seam or highly inclined seam, we are trying to get that coal in that way. Okay. Then multi-pass means now here you are not doing from a single entry, right? Seam may be 20 meter thick. Now I will be developing that into 2-3 sections, 2-3 passes, right? And along the floor, suppose that seam is of 10 meter or 20 meter, right? Then I may have a development along the floor, 1 3-meter height section, another leaving 3-4 meter, 5 meter, or otherwise one section along the roof side with 3 other meters, 3 meter. In between that parting coal may be there. So now it is a multi-pass. right? This multi-pass, my entry itself is in this section and entry itself in this section. This is a way also I can classify, right? And then now it can be inclined or it can be horizontal, right? If it is along the strike direction, right, I can have in the horizontal direction. Otherwise, this I can develop in this inclined direction. That passes can be there in a sequence of extraction. I can design the way I like. So this is the way how this type of classification is also proposed, or we can see in that way. Only thing is, whatever the classification you want to give, you should understand the logic behind that. That is very important. But ultimately, why we are studying this classification or choice, which method and other things, because here we will be in a position to know or design a suitable method for the given conditions. Suppose if some geomechanical conditions are given to you, my beloved students of Mn2102 underground coal mining methods, then you should be able to design an appropriate or suitable method. And when you know that, yes, this is the way how it was done in these conditions, then this may be suitable condition for this type of method. This is the way how we are discussing, my beloved students of underground coal mining, Mn2102. And now, then that is a board and pillar way of doing it. Otherwise, it can be a long wall way, right? Where in the long wall with a single pass, already you have seen a retreating through our demonstration of the model in our mining engineering department, mining machinery or metal handling system lab itself, where I demonstrated that model of method of working by board and pillar and then your long wall mining. And that is, of course, the model depicting, which is prepared by Nanda Miller and that company, where it is a retreating method. Otherwise, it can be also advancing method. This is the way it can be classified. And in the single pass, only one pass, right? Otherwise, it can be multi-slicing. Suppose it is very thick and inclined seams and so many things. Now it can be that panel can be oriented in this direction. It can be oriented in this direction, horizontal. It can be oriented in the cross direction, or it can be in the combined in different ways. So this is also one way of classifying it. Otherwise, same long wall mining, underwinning. Now this also you please note down somewhere, where in long wall we used multi-slicing, even in Munidi, Sudamdi and these places, even without mechanized mining also it was done, even with stowing also it was done, right? And lately, late means 30 years back, right? In 1989, 90 with CDF France, we have international collaboration on sub-level caving. You please note down sub-level caving and integral caving. That also something comes under this type of underwinning, where integral caving is a top coal slicing. That's what recently people are giving from CSIRO for our Indian mines for thick seam long wall. But already we experimented 30 years back in 1989, 90 itself in the international collaboration with CDF France. And of course, we failed because of some reasons and all those things. That was done in seam number 10. You please note down seam number 10 in Bharat Coking Coal Limited, that is in East Katras, and that seam is 8 to 10 meter thick seam, where underwinning was also done and sub-level caving was also done in panel number D1, D2, all those things, all that details. Some papers already we published. I published along with Dr. T.N. Singh, our leader of our group at that time in 89. That also I will show you. You will get a lot of information, even in the book or also in the proceedings of some international journals and conferences. Now, this long wall can be sectional. That sections can be horizontal, inclined, whatever. Then integral, already we talk about. Then long pillar. So this is a chamber method of mining. That is what in northeastern coal fields in an inclined fashion we do in the descending shield and all. But I am more concerned, or I want you to become more aware about what are the special methods required. In fact, I have given some names here, right? Otherwise, there are so many names given, so many experiments, not only we as a scientist in these 30, 35 years, whatever. I experimented personally along with Dr. T.N. Singh, Professor R.D. Singh and other, Professor S.P. Mathur and other people whom you have been reading that books, right? Where in addition to that, right, some methods I wish that you should know under which conditions this special methods were designed, and these are some of the inspiration. You can take it as an inspiration to design some innovative methods in future to deal with very complex geomining conditions, what we are going to deal with in future in our underground coal mining, my beloved students of underground coal mining methods, Mn2102. So in these special methods, of course, we will discuss in details in the next classes, but just now it is 10:55, right? I will just show what we will be discussing in the next classes. All these special methods of caving type, where blasting gallery, Chirmiri caving method or cable bolted fixing mining, when blasting gallery method was a failure long back and they later passed and then again failed and again there are so many things. All that we will discuss, and what modification required also we will discuss with reference to ventilation and mine fights also. Then partial extraction with backfilling, even white stall mining, which we designed in 1980s. Dr. T.N. Singh Saab, with whom we were working in East Bagadi, BCCL with stowing, and in Chirimiri in a southeastern coalfield without stowing. This is the way how we experimented for a first time in India. First time, of course, by Dr. T.N. Singh with stowing, and first time by me in southeastern coalfield without stowing. That white stall was experimented in India. All these things we will discuss. Then partial extraction without backfilling with white stall, whatever I told you in Chirimiri, other places we started first time, and with backfilling in East Bagadi we started in BCCL first time in 88, and this was in 92, 91 that time without backfilling. And non-effective width of extraction. In addition to that, there are so many other methods. So many names are given by Dr. Shaure and some other team, and so many other people have designed so many methods. Right. Then high wall mining, harmonic mining, all those things also we will discuss. And here I would like to just show what we will be discussing later. Factors affecting choice of mining method. Some reference I am giving you because this is R.D. Singh and T.N. Singh, other books are also there. You must be reading some of that, but in a gist we will be discussing about those issues, how it is affecting the choice, and then what are the technical economical factors, and then affecting the division of that into blocks for the development, and in-seam development and horizon mining, and suitable conditions, and opening out districts, and then opening out in a different style, pillar development, gallery, pillar size, dimension, panel size, percentage, width, how it should be selected, and then here continuous miners, how we are using in church and other mines, all these videos, and latest bolting and other technologies. All this also we will be discussing, deeply with caving and other things we will discuss. Here why I am showing this here is, now you can see the ventilation here, my beloved students. I am showing a one panel of the Churcha mine where it was notorious failure of longwall mining, and later we recommended for no suitability for longwall because of that sill and other things, and board and pillar was adopted, where either as a scientist of an ARM ministry mine or as a professor here, we have done a lot of investigation in these mines. I will be showing you all the details, but here just I want to show to give you some idea about the ventilation here, my beloved students. Now you see, this is a panel. This is a part of the mine. Otherwise, there is a big mine, right? Where now you see this ventilation is coming here and then going in between. There are ventilation door or ventilation stoppings, and some workings are this blue color is acting as a intake airway, and then from here red color is shown in the return airway, and this comes and connect with the main airways in the other panels, and then other trunk roadways. This is the way how that ventilation other things comes. In the method of extraction with continuous. You can see this. This is a total mine of that. This panel may be only part of it. In this main intake is coming from here, and then intake airway going one way here, intake to this development panel, this deplorering panel, and another intake here, and return from here, and coming to this, and then return airway, and then return airway to the exhaust fan. This is the way how the ventilation in between. These are the red color is shown as a return airway, blue color is shown in the intake airway. I hope now this is the way how I wanted to show you with the sections, everything, my beloved students. Since somebody asked about the doubts, this is the way how the mine is developed and the ventilated. Okay, now going to back to you. Now, let me have your attendance. Now, any doubts? And then you have to summarize, somebody to summarize. Any doubts? Yes. Yes, please.
Sir,
Meanwhile, I am taking attendance. Right.
sir, you showed that long one mining, long one model. Sir, that is a retreat method.
Yes.
So, how advanced method is like?
Right.
But
Very
I am
good.
imagining.
So who can explain how advanced mining will look like? Because already it was taught to you people before. Who can explain? Anybody? Anybody deserves better TA marks? How advanced mining looks like? Who can explain? Let me take attendance once. Anybody? Otherwise, don't worry. I know that you know about it, but now I am showing you here. Even this is a declaring, retreat long wall. So if it is advanced, very simple. What happens? You just consider this panel as if you are not in this panel. Your trunk roadway, main roadway may be somewhere here. You made this advanced galleries or gate roads and came to the boundary of this panel on the boundary and then started retreating from here. That much is clear to everybody? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Right. So now if it is advanced mining, what you do is you will not drive these galleries, I mean these gate roads. Then you will start the depillering, I mean the extraction of longwall from here itself, where you will drive only 10 meter or 20 meter advance gate road here itself. It will be all be a block. You got it? Then this whatever is AFC, your this shearer and your shield support, everything will be there starting from there, advancing from the main trunk roadways. Now you got it? And you are maintaining that roadways through the GOF. You got it? Right?
Yes, yes.
Yes, that is a difference of advance and this. Okay, now who is going to summarize? Somebody
Sir, I am
from
Aryaman.
Sir,
Yes,
I have
anybody.
one other doubt, sir. I am Ayush.
Yes. Yes,
If we, yes, we are doing deep learning, advancing that long wall from that side, that GOP will be created and that GOP will collapse there, like.
Right, right.
But how will then transport the material from there?
Through the GOF, you should maintain the galleries.
We
Through
have
the
to make
GOF,
it.
you have to maintain the galleries. Otherwise, you are having two sets of roadways. One towards the GOF, in the other set, you are having your conveyor.
Yes,
Got
sir,
it?
yes, sir. Yes,
Right.
sir, got it.
So like that, you will see lot of combinations. It can be a single entry, it can be double entry, it can be triple entry. Two entries with three entries with two rows of pillars, or two entries with one row of pillar in between the panels. You got it? This is the way
Yes,
how it
sir.
is done. Okay, right. Who is summarizing now?
Yes, sir, I am
Anybody?
Aryaman.
Arya, please.
Yes, sir. Sir,
Any less time? Right.
yes, sir.
Continue.
So we begin our class when you showed us the model of depillering in board and pillar mining. There, you showed us the ventilation in different panel, the haulage area, and you also told that the GoFit support, how it handle the active stresses there, and you also told us the props are being replaced by the bolts. Uh, then you told us why we perform diagonal line of extraction. So because if we not, there will be even uneven distribution of force from the overlying overburden. Then we went to the long wall retreating model. There you showed us, there you told us about AFC, that is armored flexible conveyor.
Very
Then you told us that there will be different length of faces like 120 to 150 and even today 300 meter we can do it. And there is hydraulic shield which protect us from the overburden being falling. And when I asked about the ventilation standards, you also told that the temperature should be less than 30 degrees Celsius. and air quantity should be 2.5 cubic meters.
There
And
are standards, it is already available.
yes, sir, the standard. Then Ayush asked about the excavating in longwall mining, which you explained that there should be immediate roof fall, because if there is not roof fall, then we have to perform induced blasting for the caving to be happening. And you gave us the example of Rajendra mining.
Rajendra mine,
Yes,
southeastern
sir.
coalfield, where we
SCCL.
have done caving from the surface.
Yes, sir.
We made a hole and then blasted from the surface.
Yes,
Right.
it was not caving due to seal, and seal is a drawback. Then
Right.
you showed us different classification and choices. In border and pillar mining, you told us about single pass and multi pass. In single pass, the entry and exit are in same direction, can be horizontal or inclined. And in longwall mining, you also told us about the single pass, the advancing and retreating process, and multi slicing also, that is combined horizontal and diagonal.
Very good.
Thank you, sir.
In the next classes, we will discuss about these methods of mining and how is in different horizon mining in seam and all those things. Classification and choice already we have seen little bit, and other details of factors affecting the choice and all. And I also wish you should also learn how to write the reference. That's why I've given you here under bracket with the name and the year we have to give when you prepare as an assignment topic already, as we discussed before. Then that's what for today. All the best, and then let us close for today. We should not enter into others classes, and I am closing for today. Before closing, क्या बोलना है जी?
Jai Hind,
Okay.
Jai
Jai Hind, Jai
Jai
Bharat.
Hind,
Jai
Jai
Hind,
Bharat.
Jai Bharat, sir.
Take
Jai Hind,
take
Jai
care
Bharat.
of
Jai Hind, Jai
COVID-19.
Bharat, sir.
Anyway, your parents are taking care of you, and they are living gods, and you should take care of them. And then your COVID and Omicron. All the best. Now stopping recording. I think we love each other so much, it is not getting stopped. It is continuing further. It's all right.
Yes, sir.
Right. So this is all because of some